So, which is Shiva's favorite fragrance and which one does Moon love? Let's explore that today. Namaste all you fragrant people and welcome to Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing. So continuing with the series, today we're doing Monday. Yesterday we done Sunday. If you haven't seen that episode, just check it out somewhere. So today we'll be doing about Monday. Yesterday we discussed about Sun God and Vishnuji, and today we'll be talking about Chandradev, that is Moon God, and Mahadev, my favoritist. So let's talk about Moon first, because Moon is Moon God, yani Chandradev is worshipped mostly on most of these Purnimas that we have. So the full moon nights that we have. So we have Guru Purnima, or we have Buddha Purnima, or we have Sharad Purnima. Sharad Purnima is a very major one. Almost the entire country, or at least people who celebrate that Durga Puja during that time, during the during the October time. That is the time when we have the Purnima that falls after Durga Puja, after Dashmi, is the Purnima that is called Sharad Purnima. It is celebrated in a very, very major way, and there are many rituals and traditions that happen during that time. And so that is one time, most of the Purnimas, most of the full moons, we worship, Chandradev. And for that reason, we might just want to know some of the incenses that would be apt to light up on those nights, specifically if you're worshipping to Chandradev. So that is what we have. The other thing, one of the moon rituals also is celebrated the night when people all over India celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. That is the night when we in Mithila celebrate something called Chaurchan. And so that night the moon is supposed to be cursed and you're not supposed to look at the moon, but we in Mithila celebrate the moon's night that night, and we worship the moon god because he is in pain, because he has been cursed, so he is in pain. So we worship him to pacify him, to calm him down. So that is also one of the, and it's a very major festival, just like Chhat, which is done for the sun god, Chaurchan, which is done for the moon god. It's a very major festival in Mithila. So if you want to use these incenses for those nights, those are just going to be apt. So what do we have for moon? So for moon we have rose, camphor, musk and agar, and we could have something, any fragrance which is like nice and floral, light and citrusy kind of fragrances. So floral would be something like mogra, or any of the floral blends, any floral fragrance that you can think of would be good for worshipping moon. And any of those light citrusy blends, so like if you have something like say a blend of lemongrass or something, so that also would be a good one. So basically what happens is, a moon is supposed to rule our minds, and anything that pacifies you at the level of your mind would be a good one. So rose, camphor, musk and agar, like I said, would be good one. Floral fragrances, of course, it tends to your heart, so it calms you down, so that would be a good idea as well. So that is for the moon. Any worship that you're doing for the moon god, or if you have a daily sadhana, where you do worship to moon god, where you chant his mantras, these would be good ones. So that was about moon. Now for Shivji, for Mahadev, we have many incenses, and we have Chandan, we have Dhuna. So the same things which was also there for Vishnu. So with some of those we also have for Shiv. So we have Chandan, we have Dhuna, Musk, Kevra, Khas, Sarar, Dhatura. Dhatura is something which is specifically only for Shiva. So we have Dhatura, we have Mitti, and I recently found this Gili Mitti fragrance. I'll just link it up somewhere, so you just want to see that. So that is there. Cedar is good. Bilva, that is wood apple. So the fragrance of the wood apple plant is something which is very dear to God Shiv. So we can use that, Bilva. We have oleander, we have Vibhuti. So these are the things that we have for Shiva. Now, because Shiva is a god, he is like the pinnacle of mysticism. He is always shown in Samadhi, At the same time, he is the only god who is shown with his entire family. So he has a wife, he has pets, he has kids, he has staff, he has a lot many things, everything. There's so much that's there on Kailash. So he is somebody who is shown solo, both solo, as somebody who is always in samadhi, and as somebody who is a family man. So depending on what form of him you're worshipping, you might want to choose your fragrance. So if you are doing, you know, something related to sadhana or just samadhi or something like, you know, meditation and stuff, of course you go for fragrances like chandan and khas and mitti and, you know, those kind of fragrances which really calm you down, which get you in that alpha state of mind. So you would want to use that. But if you want to worship Shiva, the householder, you know, the grihasth, then there are two layers to it. So one, if you would just want to worship him with Parvati Ma or Gauri Ma, like, you know, we do in Mithila, we worship him with Gauri Ma, of course that's Parvati only. And so when you're specifically praying to Shiva and Parvati, the one thing which is very specific to that is, besides of course the bhakti that we have for both Shiv and Shakti, people mostly do it, or the fruit of that act is that your marital life becomes good. So any differences that is there in the marriage with your spouse, or if people in the house are having a tough time with each other, so say probably there's some kind of cold war going on, or some kind of unpleasant vibe is there in the house, it would help with that. But specifically for marital issues, whether it's related to anything that's related to a husband and wife, worshipping Shiva and Parvati is a very good, you know, very good fruitful thing to do. So if you worshipping Shiva with Parvati, it's supposed to bring love in your life, it's supposed to enhance your marital life. So for that purpose, you would of course use fragrances which are you know, which increases libido, which are aphrodisiac, which brings you in that state of mind where it allows you to accept love. That is the kind of fragrances that you would use. And of course we have rose for that, we have jasmine for that, we have Palo Santo would be an excellent thing, because Palo Santo is specifically extremely useful for dissolving unpleasantness between people. So Palo Santo would be a very good choice. Then we have patchouli. Patchouli is a very good choice also. Patchouli is highly aphrodisiac. But when we say aphrodisiac, we don't just mean the sex part of it, the sexual tangent of it. We see the sex part between a husband and wife, in it itself is a big thing. It's like a whole Pandora's box. It gets so many other aspects in your life. So that is the one reason we do, like in Hinduism we say dharma, arth, kam, moksha. So kam is not something which is like seen only at the level of sex. It goes much beyond that. So when you want, when you're in a matrimony with somebody, it's not just sex that counts, it's a whole lot of other things that matters. So when you're worshipping Shiv and Parvati, you are actually invoking all of that energy in your life, and it actually settles things down between you. So that is the reason when you're worshipping Shiv and Parvati, because worshipping a couple, you might just want to use fragrances like rose, jasmine, patchouli, Palo Santo, and musk also is supposed to be very good for that. So we'll have musk also that. And what happens is when you're worshipping Shiv Parivar, so if you're worshipping Shiv along with his entire family, the pets and the staff and everybody, then of course you are inviting goodness in your family life. So it enhances the quality of your family life. And for that reason you can use any of the incenses that's used either only for Shiva or for Shiv and Parvati ji. So you could use rose, musk, chandan, kevra, bilva, oleander, vibhuti. And what happens with most of these incenses, khas, I recently did Haridarshan khas, so I like that. I like khas from Haridarshan Natural series. I also like khas from Isha Foundation. I haven't really tried a lot of mitti fragrances, so I can't recommend any of those. But Vibhuti is a fragrance which I have only found in Isha. So if you want to check, you might just want to go to you know, Isha's Isha lifestyle, something Isha, just go and Google Isha, you'll get it. So you get Vibhuti from there, that would be a good choice. Musk, musk, I don't know, you might just want to go for any of your favorite musk. I don't remember any musk which I really liked and which I would like to recommend to you. So chandan, of course, all of us have our own favorite chandan. My favorite is the Parimal Mandir Shuddha Chandan, of course. Then we have Prajyoti Chandan that we recently had. Then I did the Sugandhalok Chandan that I did. I like that. And of course Aurobindo Ashram. So those are the chandan incenses that we have. Then again we have Dhuna and Sarar. So which for Dhuna and Sarar, it's mostly the traditional incense blend, the loose incense that we have, that we put on the hot charcoal or the hot cow dung cake and stuff. So that is there. Cedar, I recently saw one cedar that is being advertised by Pool. I don't know, I haven't tried it, so you might just want to try that. Or otherwise, I'm sure cedar is a fragrance which is like very widely used in incenses, so you might just find a lot of options for cedar also. Now the fragrances that the Kevra fragrance, I don't remember any Kevra incense that I've tried, but I'm sure Aurobindo Ashram will have Kevra. Or you might try some, you might want to try some other incenses, some other Kevra incenses as well. So those were the things that I wanted to talk about today. And so if you know that, we have this mantra, the Mahamrityunjay mantra, which is of course Shivji's mantra, and there is one word in it called Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam. So 2 words, Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam. So Sugandhim, the fragrance, of course this thing is translated by various people in various sense, but the one thing that comes out of it is that any kind of fragrance really nurtures and enhances our life, our quality of life. So that's the reason in Hinduism good fragrance is considered really good. I'm forgetting the shlok right now, but there's a shlok that says that, just like you have this thing called cleanliness is next to godliness, for us it's like good fragrance is next to being near God. So it's like that kind of thing. So whenever we are worshipping, that's the reason incense makes a very, very important and integral part of a puja. And that's the reason I've been doing this series. Anil Rathi ji, I haven't seen a comment from you. I don't know where you are. Wherever you are, please come and watch this, because I'm making this series for you. And of course, for everybody else, for all of you, my darling subscribers, this is for all of us. So this is going to be for the next 5 days. So yesterday I did Sunday, today is Monday. I'll be doing it, for a few more days, and then on one last day I'll be doing the tips and tricks, and not tips and tricks, I mean some do's and don'ts of incenses. So just watch out. So that was the episode for today. So we talked about moon god and Shivji. So that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something from it. If you think somebody else can learn something from it, share it with them. If you liked it, give it a like. And this is Dolly Jha here, and I thank you so much for watching today's episode. Till we meet again next, take very good care of yourself. Namaste.